Hello ladies and gentlemen, Korudo here, and welcome to my review of Mischief Makers. Despite being an excellent game, it is not very well known, and I intend to enlighten you on a game that you may very well want to play. So let's get started. Mischief Makers is a 2D side-scrolling platformer on the Nintendo 64. When most of us think of the Nintendo 64, we think of it as the pioneer for 3D gaming. Because of this legacy, we tend to overlook the 2D games on that system. Mischief Makers is one of those games that was doomed to obscurity from the very beginning due to its nature, but it is certainly a high-quality game that deserves more attention than it got. It is my hope that by reviewing this game, I can spark interest in a few people and maybe get Mischief Makers the attention it deserves. You play as Marina Lightyears, the so-called intergalactic Cybot G. Marina is your typical hero whose actions speak louder than her words, but that's not to say she's silent. She's basically a happy-go-lucky cyborg hero of the story. As for the story itself, it's a defeat the bad guys kind of tale. Marina has to rescue Professor Theo from the evil empire and planet Clancer, and have several misadventures and hijinks along the way. The focus of the story are the characters, who are infinitely more interesting than the actual story in my opinion. Very anime-inspired, Mischief Makers has many ridiculous situations and reactions from the characters. Like when Professor Theo tries to grope Marina after each rescue. Other characters include the Beast Sector, which serve as Marina's rivals and bosses.
Through fire, justice is served! Here's Lunar!
To punish evil forces, I have in charge! It's Taurus time!
A hero with shining armor in gold. I'm Myrtle.
And of course the residents of the planet, the Clancers. Despite their screen mask faces, most of them are pretty friendly. Even more than the characters, the real star of this game is the gameplay itself. First, the controls. You move Marina with the D-pad. Yes, you heard me correctly! This is one of the few N64 games that uses the D-pad as the primary input for movement. L and R are used to scroll through text, and the A button is used for jumping. The Z button is completely unused. The C buttons are used for her jet boosters. Each C button corresponds to a direction from the jet booster. You can also go the Mega Man X style and rapidly press the D-pad for a quick dash. It's technically faster than using the C buttons, but it requires more skill to pull off effectively. The B button is the real star of the show though. B allows you to grab things, and pressing down allows you to shake. Pressing direction plus B allows you to throw it in that direction. The grab feature turns everything you grab into a weapon, thus negating the need for a permanent weapon altogether. Things you can do from grab and shake include, but are not limited to, creating a mech, mix things into a pot to create better items, get money, solve puzzles, pull reverses on bosses, making boss battles cooler, and of course the obligatory shake to make things bigger. I personally like to throw civilians and or shake them down for gems. This in and of itself provides a bit of replay value. While this game is relatively short, it encourages you to go back and replay levels in two different ways. This isn't too difficult because you can select levels you've already beaten through an easy-to-use level select screen. The first method is collecting. In each level you collect different gems. Red gems are currency, which can be used to purchase continues. Blue and green gems recover health, and each level has one gold gem. The gold gem replenishes your health the most, and also acts as currency to view the ending. Sometimes the gold gems can be simply found within the level, while others require certain conditions to be met before you can earn it. Challenge is there for those who want it, but it's not mandatory for those who don't. The second is the speed run. The faster you complete a level, the higher grade you will get. The game rewards you for having an overall fast game completion time by granting you the opportunity to get the very last gold gem within the ending. So in other words, even if you collect all the gold gems before, you're not going to get the entire experience unless you do it quickly as well. This provides a bit of flexibility because, while you can go through the game and beat it within a relatively short amount of time, if you take the time to collect all of the gold gems and do speed runs to get an A rank on each level, it significantly increases your playtime. And this isn't easy either. For example, to get a gold gem on a boss, you have to win without getting hit even once. I don't particularly find this to be a problem because the bosses are just so much fun to fight against. And eventually you'll pick up their patterns and be able to predict their movements, and in turn, win it without getting hit and get the gold gem. The bosses would not be nearly as epic if it wasn't for the music and sound effects. In fact, all of the levels have perfectly suitable and well-made scores. Whether it be an upbeat tune for an outdoor adventure, a cryptic score inside a dank cave, or a blood-pumping boss theme. All of the music is fantastic. It makes the game that much more engaging. It's one of those games I'd love to have the original soundtrack for. With all of these elements blending together so well, one can't help but wonder why so few people have heard of this game. If you're interested in trying a unique take on the 2D side-scrolling platformer, then I'd highly recommend you check this game out. It won't be on the Wii's Virtual Console, but this game can be found online anywhere between $5 and $10. Within the context of the game itself, it pulls off everything extremely well. The controls work perfectly, the characters and the story are entertaining, the music is very well placed and of very high quality, it has a lot of potential replay value, and it does a fantastic job of being a good game in its own right. I give this game a well-deserved 10 out of 10. I hope you found this review helpful and entertaining. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time.